The fourth generation of K-pop is notoriously volatile. With dozens of groups debuting each year, survival requires a core narrative strong enough to withstand immediate and intense public scrutiny. When HYBE and Source Music announced their new group in early 2022, they centered the branding on a linguistic riddle. The name SSERAFIM is a direct anagram. If the letters are scrambled, they spell out the phrase, "I'm fearless." It also references the seraphim, the six-winged celestial beings described in theological texts as those who purify through fire. This branding placed a heavy conceptual burden on the real-world members of the group. Proclaiming absolute fearlessness is a high-risk strategy in an industry defined by sudden lineup changes and shifting public opinion. To maintain that image, the group had to ground the concept in something more substantial than a clever name. The group answers the tension of their branding by writing their actual career risks into their lyrics and performance identity, and Sakura joined the group as an established industry veteran. She spent a decade as a leading member of HKT48 and AKB48, yet she repeatedly abandoned those safe spaces to start from zero in the South Korean market. And Chaewon underwent a similar reinvention. After achieving massive success in the project group IZ*ONE, she overhauled her performance style and vocal delivery to lead this new, more aggressive concept. Utilizing stars who willingly executed these massive career resets grounds the group's fearless narrative in their real-world history. The rest of the lineup abandoned entirely different artistic paths. Yunjin grew up in New York, where she trained as a classical mezzo-soprano and pursued a career in musical theater. Kazuha was a professional ballerina, training at the Bolshoi Ballet Academy and the Royal Ballet School. She walked away from that globally recognized prestige to become a K-pop trainee at the end of 2021. She debuted just months later, trading a decade of classical training for the idol stage. The group's youngest member, Eunchae, brought a background as an urban dance prodigy, having mastered complex hip-hop styles before her recruitment. On stage, the group fuses these disparate technical disciplines, the soaring power of opera, the precision of classical ballet, and the aggression of urban hip-hop, into a single unified performance style. This structure was tested almost immediately. Following a controversy and the departure of a member shortly after debut, the group was forced to pivot from a 6-member lineup to 5. Rather than abandoning their iconography, they reinterpreted it. The 5 remaining wings were re-centered around a new core. They defined this core as their fanbase, FEARNOT, a name that also sounds like the Korean verb to bloom. This transition allowed them to maintain their momentum and scale to massive global platforms like the MTV VMAs. By building the loss of a member directly into their branding, they survived the kind of disruption that usually signals a group's decline. They moved forward by integrating the damage. The final layer of their narrative is self-authorship. The members take active roles in lyricism and composition, defining their own vulnerabilities before they can be defined by others. Their choreography reflects this, frequently featuring moments where a classical ballet line snaps sharply into an aggressive urban hip-hop pose. This branding defines fearlessness as a continuous, active decision to advance despite existing anxieties. As their own tagline puts it, "For we are not fearless, and therefore powerful." SSERAFIM demonstrates that owning the struggle of your own narrative is an effective defense against industry volatility. By anchoring their identity in their actual history, the group built a narrative that remains stable regardless of how the industry environment shifts.